Coming up, the COVID-19 death toll in the United States passes 130,000.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. The death toll from coronavirus now stands at more than 130,000 people in the United States. The number of cases in the country has soared recently and is now approaching 3 million. CBS's Chris Martinez has the latest from across the country.
The coronavirus continues to spread out of control in much of the U.S.
We are still knee-deep in the first wave of this, and I would say this would not be considered a wave. It was a surge or a resurgence.
Infections are rising in at least 40 states and the District of Columbia.
An outbreak anywhere is an outbreak everywhere. That's the new mentality we have to have.
The hardest hit areas include 3 of the country's most populous states, Florida, California, and Texas. In some cities, the hospitals are nearly full.
We are in one of the worst parts of the epidemic. This is the beginning. They will double in the next 2 weeks, and then double again the week after that.
On Monday, restaurants in Miami-Dade County were again ordered to stop serving indoor meals. Gyms and other public facilities have to shut down by Wednesday.
We might be getting locked down for another 3 months. What's going to happen to these business owners? We don't know. It's very scary.
Experts say COVID-19 is increasingly being spread by and among younger people.
15 to 44, that is where the bulk of these positive tests are now coming from, and particularly that 25 to 34-year-old age group.
Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms said Monday that she has tested positive for coronavirus.
This is startling for me because we've been so very careful.
Bottoms said she has not experienced any COVID-19 symptoms. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
The Pentagon has agreed to a FEMA request to send help to Texas. The Defense Department is deploying 50 medical specialists to hospitals in San Antonio. We've now surpassed 17,000 COVID-19 cases in Kentucky. The governor announced 268 new cases today. That brings the total number to 17,152. There are 8 new deaths, and the death toll now sits at 593. 4,785 Kentuckians have recovered from the virus. And for more information on COVID-19 across eastern Kentucky, just go to our website, WYMT.com. At 6 o'clock, we told you Bell County has 44 cases of COVID-19. Since then, the Bell County Health Department released new numbers. Now the county has 56 reported cases of COVID-19. Earlier today, we sat down with Bell County Judge Executive Albie Brock, who says more than 20 cases happened in the past 3 days. He says slowing the spread is a community effort.
There's a common sense factor has to play in, and we're going to have to become good humans about this and realize that wearing a mask is what's going to make this go away. Nothing that we can do in local government is going to make this virus go away. Nothing the federal government's going to do is going to make it go away, but you can help yourself and your community by simply wearing a cloth covering over your mouth.
The judge executive encourages community members to continue practicing social distancing and good hand washing habits. Well, we continue to see more cases of COVID-19 in rural and urban areas, including in Lexington. Victor Puente talked to the Fayette County Health Department today about the latest numbers and how things are going since reopening.
Over the weekend, the Fayette County Health Department reported 52 new cases of COVID-19. That includes 1 death. They say Lexington has averaged around 30 new cases a day for a few weeks now, but they believe those numbers are likely to go up.
So we are still seeing that climb from those early cases. Hopefully places will slow down, but as the summer progresses, people start mixing more, socializing more, and unfortunately, until people start wearing masks to protect others, we're going to see these cases grow.
They're still seeing cases from people returning from places like South Carolina and Florida, and new cases in assisted living facilities. But some of those new numbers are just from spread among the public. Hall tells me businesses have been pretty good about operating under those new regulations.
Most of the businesses are trying to follow the guidelines. They want to protect themselves, and they also know that if they run the risk of everything being shut down again, then they're losing all of the business.
Which means they need more help from the public in wearing masks and social distancing. Even though the majority of people who get the virus survive it, that doesn't mean they're out of the woods.
The long-term effects of COVID-19 just aren't clear because we're still short-term into this. So for the people who think, well, I'll get it, I'll recover, I'll be fine, in the short term, that could be correct, but we don't know what the long-term results are.
In Lexington, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Hall said if someone who tests positive has been at a business, it's up to the business owner to decide what steps to take. Another Eastern Kentucky staple has just been canceled, the Laurel County Fair. Festivals and fairs bring in people and money to the mountains, but this year's pandemic has put a halt to some of those traditions.
And with all the restrictions in place, and obviously COVID still abundantly in the air, we just couldn't afford to take the hit financially.
Small businesses were also affected by the cancellation, like Appalachian Mountain Wrestling here in Hazard. They are usually part of the fair. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell was in Louisville today, where he was greeted by a small group of protesters with a drum outside of the Dare to Care food bank. McConnell was there to thank the food bank workers and says the Senate will take up another coronavirus relief bill when they return to D.C. later this month. He expects the bill to include liability from COVID-related lawsuits for businesses, schools, and nonprofits. McConnell did advocate wearing a mask, saying the most important duty everyone has is to protect themselves and their families. The senator also condemned the tearing down of statues across the country.
I think there's certainly problems with rioters and looters and people who want to tear down statues of people like Washington and Jefferson and Grant, who freed the slaves. That, it seems to me, is intolerable. I'm a big fan of peaceful protesting. That's a constitutionally protected right in our country. I'm not a fan of rioting, looting, mayhem, and tearing down the statues of the people that crafted the beginnings of this country.
Senator McConnell says a coronavirus bill will also include funding for jobs and health care. Congressional Democrats will demand the next aid package include direct funding for states and cities who've seen their budgets decimated by lost tax revenue and COVID-related costs.
We've seen a few scattered showers and thunderstorms this evening. Some got a little bit on that stronger side as well, but they have been pushing out of here. But some of us seeing some lightning tonight. Just took JoJo out about 30 minutes ago, and there was lots of lightning that I could see around the area. We're going to take you up to a few of those cameras, or actually we're going to take you up to Pinpoint Doppler first. We were seeing just a few pop-up showers and thunderstorms continuing to push. Really, the storm I saw was in northern Knott County earlier, but now moving into parts of Magoffin and a little bit into parts of Breathitt County. So producing very frequent lightning, actually looking pretty awesome out there. Just a little bit of a pop-up storm, nothing too crazy or severe, just lots of lightning associated with this storm now moving into parts of Breathitt and southern Magoffin County. Now for tonight, we'll see temperatures drop into about those upper 60s. We'll hang on to a few rain chances, but those should really start to die down, especially by the time we get to right around those overnight hours into the early morning hours on your Tuesday. So more sunshine's in store though, heading into the next several days. Hot temperatures continue over the next couple of days as well, and we're going to hang on to a few rain chances throughout the rest of the work week and even into the weekend. I'll have the rest of that 7-day forecast coming up in a little bit.
All right, Paige, thank you. People in Floyd County are mourning the loss of a young woman who grew up on the stage. Police say 21-year-old Allison Davis was driving on I-75 in Boone County when she lost control of her vehicle and hit a tractor trailer. Davis was a senior musical theater student at Northern Kentucky University. She was well known in Eastern Kentucky for her acting and singing ability. She performed in productions for years at Jenny Wiley Theater and the Mountain Arts Center. This is video from 2016 from the Big Sandy Idol competition at the MAC. In a post on the NKU School of the Arts Facebook page, it said Allie, quote, represents the best in all of us, and we will forever be lucky to have enjoyed her artistry, friendship, and love of life. Today, community members gathered to honor a little girl that died in her sleep at 8 months old. Kennedy Page Jones would have turned 1 year old on Saturday, the 4th of July. An ATV ride in her honor started in Perry County and went through Breathitt and Knott counties. Courtney Sloan, Kennedy's mother, says when her daughter died, they had to find something to honor her memory.
I mean, if you look around, you can pretty much tell everybody's friends and stuff, but we like meeting new people and just, you know, getting her name out there and how loved she was.
Kentucky State Police, a Perry County constable, and Grapevine Chavies Fire and Rescue helped escort the riders to the trail. For most athletes across the country, high school is when they start to get looks from colleges. But for one 11-year-old girl in London, that's not the case. Skeeter Mabe is getting national attention, receiving D1 looks from Baylor, Stanford, and Louisville, just to name a few. Now entering 7th grade, Mabe's father says they're looking forward to her playing at the high school level at South Laurel under Coach Suter.
Well, what Skeeter is looking forward to, because this is the first time that she has ever been on a team where that she's not the tallest girl out there. So she doesn't have to play down low in the post. She hates playing in the post. When she plays 6th grade in her own level this past season, she always had to play in the post on defense. She hates playing in the post. She's got 2 great players in Clara Collins and Rachel that's going to carry the load down low. She's going to be able to play point guard, which is her natural position.
Mabe has also gotten looks from Murray State, Tennessee, and EKU. Coming up on Mountain News at 11, find out how to stay safe this summer while on the water.
And the hot and humid conditions continue heading into the next several days. I'll have a look at that forecast coming up.